What if I told you there's a way to become so psychologically strong that difficulties don't just fail to break you, they make you more powerful? Ancient philosophers discovered a method for building what modern science calls anti-fragility, the ability to grow stronger under stress rather than survive it. Most people think resilience is the goal, bouncing back from adversity. But the greatest minds in history understood something far more powerful: how to create systems in your life that improve when challenged. They didn't just endure difficulties, they transformed them into competitive advantages. I will show you the synthesis of ancient Stoic wisdom and modern psychological science that creates true anti-fragility in your mind and every system of your life. Nassim Taleb formally introduced the concept of anti-fragility, but the principles have been understood by philosophers for millennia. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, didn't just teach resilience, they taught transformation through adversity. But here's what most people miss. Anti-fragility isn't just a mindset. It's a systematic approach to building life structures that improve under pressure. It's the difference between a glass that shatters under stress, a rubber ball that bounces back, and a muscle that grows stronger when challenged. The ancient philosophers understood that humans are naturally anti-fragile systems, but modern life often makes us fragile by removing the stresses that would make us stronger. We avoid discomfort, seek constant security, and eliminate uncertainty. The result? We become psychologically weak and unable to handle the inevitable challenges life presents. The synthesis of Stoic philosophy and modern psychology reveals something profound. You can deliberately design your life to become stronger through difficulty. This isn't about seeking out suffering. It's about creating intelligent systems that transform stress into strength, uncertainty into opportunity, and setbacks into comebacks. The philosophers who developed these principles weren't theorizing from comfort. Marcus Aurelius wrote his most profound insights while leading armies through plague-ravaged territories. Epictetus developed his philosophy while enslaved. Viktor Frankl discovered meaning-making principles in concentration camps. Their wisdom was forged in the crucible of real adversity. The three pillars of philosophical anti-fragility. Pillar 1, Optionality, creating upside from downside. The first pillar of anti-fragility is what the Stoics called turning obstacles into opportunities, and what modern systems theory calls optionality, structuring your life so that adverse events create positive possibilities. The Stoic Foundation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just motivational speaking. It's a systematic approach to reframing obstacles as information and opportunities. Modern psychological application. Cognitive behavioral therapy has validated this approach through benefit finding, the ability to identify positive outcomes that emerge from negative experiences. However, the Stoics took this further by proactively structuring their lives to maximize these benefits. Practical implementation. Career optionality. Instead of putting all your professional eggs in one basket, develop multiple income streams and skill sets. When one area faces challenges, others can benefit. The freelancer loses a major client and discovers 3 better opportunities through the networking they did while searching for alternatives. Relationship optionality. Build a diverse network of meaningful relationships rather than depending entirely on 1 or 2 people. When conflicts arise in one relationship, you have others to provide support and perspective, and the conflict itself often strengthens your communication skills. Learning optionality. Approach failures as data collection. Every mistake teaches you something that success never could. The entrepreneur whose first business fails, but who uses those lessons to build a more successful second venture. Pillar 2. Redundancy. Building multiple systems of strength. The second pillar involves creating redundancy in your psychological and practical systems, so that others can compensate and even grow stronger when one fails. The Stoic principle. Epictetus taught his students to develop multiple sources of self-worth and meaning so they wouldn't be devastated by losing one. He called this the discipline of desire, not putting all your psychological eggs in one basket. Psychological redundancy. Instead of deriving your sense of worth from one area, career, relationship, appearance, develop multiple sources of meaning and identity. When one area faces challenges, others provide stability while you rebuild. Practical redundancy systems. Financial redundancy. Multiple income streams, emergency funds, diverse investments. When one area faces problems, others provide security while you adapt. Skill redundancy. Develop complementary abilities that reinforce each other. The writer who also learns public speaking finds that each skill enhances the other, and setbacks in one area often create opportunities in another. Health redundancy. Physical fitness, mental health practices, social support, spiritual practices. When one area needs attention, others provide the foundation for recovery and growth. Emotional redundancy. Multiple coping strategies, diverse sources of joy and fulfillment, various ways of processing difficult emotions. When one approach isn't working, others are available. Pillar 3. Overcompensation. Growing stronger through stress. The third pillar is the most powerful. Designing systems that don't just survive stress, but overcompensate by becoming stronger than they were before the challenge. The Stoic understanding. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort not to suffer, but to build psychological muscle. They understood that controlled exposure to difficulty creates the capacity to handle larger challenges. Biological model. This mirrors how physical training works. When you lift weights, you create microscopic damage to muscle fibers. The body doesn't just repair this damage, it overcompensates by building stronger muscle. Psychological overcompensation. Stress inoculation. Deliberately expose yourself to manageable levels of the stresses you want to become stronger against. The person afraid of public speaking, starting with small groups and gradually working up to larger audiences, doesn't just overcome their fear. They often become more confident speakers than people who never had the fear to begin with. Meaning-making muscle. Practice finding meaning and lessons in minor difficulties to prepare for larger ones. The person who learns to extract wisdom from minor setbacks develops the psychological tools to transform major crises into growth opportunities. Adaptability training. Regularly change routines, try new approaches, and put yourself in unfamiliar situations. This builds cognitive flexibility that allows you to thrive when unexpected changes occur. The synthesis. Stoic psychology for anti-fragile living. Integrating ancient wisdom with modern science. The most powerful anti-fragility emerges when you combine Stoic philosophical principles with modern psychological understanding. This creates a comprehensive system that addresses both mindset and practical implementation. The cognitive philosophical framework. Stoic reframing, cognitive restructuring, the Stoic practice of examining your judgments about events, combined with CBT techniques for identifying cognitive distortions. This creates a robust system for maintaining psychological equilibrium under stress. Acceptance plus action. The Stoic principle of accepting what you cannot control while taking full responsibility for what you can, combined with behavioral activation techniques that ensure acceptance doesn't become passivity. Virtue ethics plus values-based living. Stoic emphasis on character development and modern values clarification exercises create a strong foundation for decision-making under pressure. Building anti-fragile life systems. The career anti-fragility system. Foundation. Develop core skills that are valuable across multiple industries and contexts. Build a reputation for reliability and excellence that transcends any job or company. Optionality. Maintain multiple income streams and continuously develop new capabilities. Create a professional network that spans different industries and levels. Stress testing. Regularly challenge yourself with new projects, roles, or responsibilities. Seek feedback and use setbacks as information for improvement. Overcompensation. When you face career setbacks, use them as opportunities to develop new skills, expand your network, or pivot to better opportunities. The relationship anti-fragility system. Foundation. Develop strong self-awareness and emotional regulation skills. Build your capacity for empathy, communication, and conflict resolution. Optionality. Cultivate diverse relationships that serve different needs and provide different perspectives. Don't put all your social and emotional needs on one person. Stress testing. Practice having difficult conversations, setting boundaries, and navigating conflicts constructively. Use relationship challenges as opportunities to deepen intimacy and understanding. Overcompensation. When relationships face difficulties, use them as catalysts for personal growth and deeper connection. Many of the strongest relationships emerge from successfully navigating challenges together. The health anti-fragility system. Foundation. Build baseline physical fitness, stress management skills, and healthy lifestyle habits. Develop body awareness and preventive health practices. Optionality. Have multiple approaches to maintaining health. Physical exercise, mental health practices, social support, medical care, and alternative approaches when appropriate. Stress testing. Gradually challenge your physical and mental limits in controlled ways. Practice recovery and adaptation techniques. Overcompensation. Use health challenges to develop deeper body awareness, stronger health habits, and a greater appreciation for well-being. The daily anti-fragility practice. Morning foundation, 10 minutes. Stoic reflection, 3 minutes. Review what you can and cannot control today. Optionality assessment, 3 minutes. Identify potential opportunities within today's challenges. Stress inoculation, 2 minutes. Choose one minor discomfort to embrace today. Intention setting, 2 minutes. Commit to growing stronger through whatever difficulties arise. Evening integration, 10 minutes. Growth extraction, 5 minutes. What did today's challenges teach you? How did they make you stronger? System assessment, 3 minutes. How did your anti-fragile systems perform? What needs adjustment? Gratitude practice, 2 minutes. Appreciate both the good and the problematic aspects of your day. Modern applications and case studies. Case study 1. The entrepreneur's anti-fragile business. Sarah built her consulting business using anti-fragility principles. Optionality. She developed expertise in 3 related but distinct areas to pivot to others when demand dropped in one. She also built both individual and corporate client bases. Redundancy: multiple marketing channels, diverse client base, various service offerings, and passive income streams through online courses. Overcompensation: when the 2020 pandemic destroyed her in-person workshop business, she used the forced downtime to develop online offerings that reached a much larger audience and generated more revenue than her previous model. Result: her business didn't just survive the crisis. It emerged stronger, more diversified, and more resilient than before. Case Study 2. The Executive's Career Anti-Fragility. Mark applied philosophical anti-fragility to his corporate career. Foundation: he continuously developed technical and leadership skills, built relationships across departments and companies, and maintained a strong professional reputation. Stress testing: he volunteered for challenging projects, took on difficult team members, and regularly sought feedback on his performance. Overcompensation: when his company went through layoffs and his position was eliminated, he used his network and reputation to land a better position at a competitor. The layoff forced him to clarify his values and find work more aligned with his goals. Result: the career setback catalyzed his most successful and fulfilling professional period. Case Study 3. The Parents' Relationship Anti-Fragility. Jennifer applied these principles to her family relationships. Redundancy: she developed her interests and friendships while maintaining strong family bonds, so she wasn't entirely dependent on family relationships for fulfillment. Stress testing: she practiced having difficult conversations with her teenage children, setting boundaries, and navigating conflicts constructively. Overcompensation: when her family went through a crisis with her son's addiction, she used the challenge to develop more profound empathy, stronger communication skills, and a more authentic relationship with all her children. Result: the family crisis ultimately brought them closer together and created a foundation of trust and openness that hadn't existed before. Your Anti-Fragility Implementation Challenge. Here's your practical framework for building anti-fragile systems in your life. Week 1. Assessment and Foundation. Identify your current fragile points, areas where you're overly dependent on single sources of security, meaning, or success. Begin daily Stoic reflection practice. Choose one minor voluntary discomfort to practice daily. Week 2. Optionality development. Identify how you could create more options in each central life area: career, relationships, health, finances. Begin developing one new skill or relationship that increases your optionality. Practice reframing one daily obstacle as an opportunity. Week 3. Redundancy building. Create backup systems in your most vulnerable areas. Diversify your sources of meaning, income, social support, or whatever you're most dependent on. Practice using multiple approaches to solve the same problem. Week 4. Overcompensation training. Deliberately seek out manageable challenges in areas where you want to grow stronger. Practice extracting lessons and benefits from difficulties. Begin building systems that automatically improve when stressed. Remember the profound insight from ancient philosophy. What doesn't kill you doesn't just make you stronger. If you approach it correctly, it makes you anti-fragile. The goal isn't to eliminate all stress and uncertainty from your life. The goal is to build systems that transform stress and uncertainty into strength and opportunity. The difference between fragile and anti-fragile isn't just philosophical, it's practical. Fragile systems break under pressure. Resilient systems bounce back. But anti-fragile systems grow stronger, more capable, and more valuable because of the pressure they face. Your challenges aren't obstacles to success. They're the raw materials for building unshakable strength. The question isn't whether you'll face difficulties. The question is whether you'll use the ancient wisdom and modern science of anti-fragility to transform those difficulties into your most significant advantages. If this video helped you understand how to build systems that grow stronger under stress, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights that bridge ancient wisdom with practical modern applications. Next week, we're diving deep into the complete 12-month journey of philosophical transformation. How to systematically build wisdom, resilience, and authentic success using the greatest minds in history. Comment below and tell me, what's one area of your life where you're ready to build anti-fragility? I read every comment and often feature the most insightful responses in future videos. Remember, the mind that is not baffled is not employed, and the impeded stream is the one that sings. Your obstacles aren't your enemies. They're your training ground for becoming unbreakable. Are you ready to embrace the challenge?